This next video clip should be fairly short. We're going to talk a little bit about etiology. So we've got two E words here at the end of chapter 11. One of those is etiology, and then the other one is epidemiology. Etiology is simply referring to what is causing a disease. So it's the study of the cause of a disease. Now you can have etiology for any kind of disease. It doesn't have to be infectious disease. For example, cigarette use leading to lung cancer would be part of the etiology for causing lung cancer, or a diet high in certain kinds of fats can lead to cardiovascular disease would be part of that etiology. Now with infectious diseases, etiology is referring to what microorganism is actually causing the disease. All right, and so way back in the day, there was a microbiologist named Koch, K-O-C-H, who came up with a series of postulates or rules that had to be fulfilled in order to conclusively say scientifically that a particular microbe was responsible for causing an infectious disease and could be proven as the etiological agent, the cause. So we'll go through these briefly. Postulate number one. You have to be able to find evidence of if you suspect a particular microbe is the etiological agent, you have to find it in every case of the disease. That makes sense. And then the second postulate is you have to isolate that microorganism, so you use your laboratory techniques to generate a pure culture, and you characterize that organism using various tests and so forth. If it's a bacterial organism, you're going to do gram staining. And then you're going to identify, you're going to figure out what it is. And then next, number three, you have to then take that purified microbe and inject it into healthy laboratory subjects and show that they get sick from the organism. So they have to develop the same disease. And that's not all. You have to be able to recover that organism out of the sick subjects or dead subjects, like they're showing you here in the picture, and re-isolate it. And so in other words, you have to demonstrate that when you inject that microbe into these laboratory animals, the organism actually grows and multiplies. That gives you further evidence that it is actually the etiological agent, the cause of the infectious disease. So those four rules or postulates are called Koch's postulates. Now, can you fulfill, so if you can actually carry out all those steps for a particular infectious disease, then we say that Koch's postulates have been fulfilled. Now, you can't fulfill Koch's postulates for every infectious disease, because if you notice over here, they're showing little laboratory animals as getting sick and potentially dying from the organism. Well, not every pathogen that causes disease in humans has an alternative animal host that can be studied in the laboratory. A really good example would be HIV. There are no other animals that are hosts for human immunodeficiency virus. So you can't go into a laboratory and squirt some HIV into some little laboratory bunnies and show that they develop AIDS. That's not going to happen. So Koch's postulates can't always be fulfilled in this kind of classic way that Koch came up with many years ago. But instead, you have to be able to, there are other methods that you can use to accumulate evidence so that you feel confident that a particular microbe is the cause of a particular infectious disease. So for example, with HIV, yes, HIV can be isolated from every AIDS patient, and no, you can't grow it in little laboratory mice, but you can grow it in cell culture. You can grow it in host cells. HIV in particular likes a type of lymphocyte called a T lymphocyte. And so you can grow human T lymphocytes in petri dishes in laboratories, squirt HIV in, and HIV will infect those cells, and it will go on to kill those cells. And then you can you can recover tissues from HIV patients and use various staining methods and so forth to show that HIV is spreading throughout the body of the patient and infecting cells in that particular patient. So there are lots of different methods, genetic-based methods that can be used to track viruses and show that they're spreading throughout the body of a particular patient. So there are other research methods that are out there that will help us conclusively show that a microorganism, a particular organism is responsible for a particular infectious disease. So that's etiology. The last video lecture for Chapter 11 will be on epidemiology. So this is the study of disease in populations. And there are various different aspects to that. And then that video lecture will wrap up Chapter 11 for us.